Oh, g'day guys. Just got a bit of spare time on my hands. Haven't done a video preview for a while, so just on a quiet Saturday morning, thought it'd give me something to do. It is a semi-feature meeting in Hobart Harness tomorrow, and it is an afternoon meeting as well with a 12:47 kickoff. So pools generally tend to be a bit better during the day. And also it doesn't look the best punting program I've ever seen, with a few shorties with question marks over them and that type of thing. But anyway, I'll kick off into it. We've got the Hobart Trotting Cup, just the field of four. Trump's Golden Boy's been a bit of a revelation since changing stables. Manners have been impeccable. The big question mark here is that it's led in a couple of 2200 metre stands and mobile mile, and this is over the 25.79. Redison did bolt in over this trip a couple of starts ago, and also did win the now infamous no race there as well. And 10 cases is super honest, and the Tego Titan, if gets it, puts it all together, certainly won't be disgraced either. So tough race to get involved in. Trump's Golden Boy on top, purely on manners, but definitely won't be launching in. The second, for the 2-year-olds, got a few with decent trial form here. Tilly Max in particular won a couple of trials at Carrick. Crowd of Courage, Kenji Bell. But the one thing, I just came back to race form and rocking a hard place. Impressed by how strong he was late. Not too convinced at the strength of the race, but if you're forced to pick one, I'd opt for him. The others obviously sight unseen, but just he's going to be the strongest horse late, so I'd opt for him. The third, Ideal Bliss resumes here. She's obviously very talented. Obviously takes on a pretty decent C2 to 3 race, but you'd imagine she leads. Trial form's pretty good. She's taking on a couple of pretty handy ones in this grade, like Big Bang Raj has been a tragedy beating his past two, but pretty tricky draw here. Crafty Boy was a good winner last time. Falcon Harry's always consistent, believe him forever. Obviously terrible draw, but it's beaten some pretty handy horses recently, so obviously in the mix. But keep coming back to Ideal Bliss, backing is another thing at the likely price. So probably recommend first 3 races hard to get involved in. The fourth, pretty similar with Resurgent Dream resuming. She's got a good overall record. She's one of those horses that never looks overly impressive, but tends to get the job done. Taking on a few horses that have, the jury's out a bit on, like Hafter. He was disgraceful first up, but obviously the ability's there. Jetcraft had his chance last week, but at his best, he'd just win this. Le Premier, bit of an underrated commodity. Has gate speed. Not sure if he'll cross LJ's Monet as well back last time and disappointed. And Out of Surreal, another one, filthy draw, but definitely going well enough to win if the breaks go its way. But just very hard to line up exactly where Resurgent Dream's at. They're in the fourth. The fifth is the Hobart Pacing Cup for $25,000. I think there'll be a few punters busking the streets for coins if RG gets beaten. It's very difficult to see him being beaten, if truth be told. Like, Isaac's going as good as he ever has, but he just hasn't got the brilliance of RG. Like, if you look at the sectional times they've been running, so he might just go over. Harjeet's been finishing off in the 55s, 56s. So we'll just scroll down here. So he's, 155 for the mile, 57.3 home. You can see 56.7, 55.6, 57.2. And whilst Isaac's, obviously the one thing in his favour is he's proven over these marathon trips 25.79, but he just lacks that bit of elite speed that Harjeet possesses. So, and the way the barriers have fallen, I can see Harjeet being first around here as well. So those two do appear to have a clear edge on the rest. Off the top of my head, it was a super win last time. Beat a really good horse in Secluded Beach. Queer of him is he's always been a bit more of a miler than a stayer, so if this is truly run, even though he's probably going to get a soft draw, imagine he tries to hold up and takes a sit in the first one of the favourites round. If he does, it obviously gives a soft run to Medal of Honour as well, who's also proven over the staying trips. The one that I've actually had a small bet on is Jacqueline. He was 151 and 11. Just see $11 a place. You know, he's a good stayer. Like, he got beaten, had a soft run last time over a mile, got beaten 15 metres behind Harjeet. If he finishes within 15 metres of him this time, he'll definitely run a place. I just thought he probably should be fifth favourite in the race. So, No Spring Secrets comes into the mix for a place. But outside of them, like, you know, Jacqueline, if there's a bit of a war on, you know he's going to run the trip and he'll keep going. Yeah, I just thought $11 a place. You could do far worse to have a few coins on him. In the sixth is the final. Actually, just go back to the fields. So we had the heats of this race I think it was last Friday night. Actually, I got the wrong race here. So the sixth is Secluded Beach, taken all before him since arriving in Tassie. He's never the easiest watch if you're backing, because he tends to struggle to get round the last corner and then super strong in the straight. But last win was phenomenal. You'd imagine he bullies his way to the front here. And if he does, running the section as he does, he's just not going to, you know, it's virtually going to be mission impossible to get past him. Won't be pretty though. Dasher Hooley was a super win last time. You see him sort of up on the speed in the death again. On Compliant, funny run last time, but prior form is in a good chance and definitely going to be in the right spot. No Apache Me. Draws to get the type of run it loves, probably going to be 3 fence over the mile. And a couple, Plateau Plomo chased home Harjeet and Scooter last time, ran third. So obviously a huge drop in grade, but you know, you draw 5 out in the second row over a mile. Job's ahead of you, and All Style Sammy's come back very well, and obviously ditto re the draw, but Secluded Beach, hard to see him being beaten. But Plateau Plomo said if something strange happens early and Secluded Beach can't work to the front, it really brings these back markers into it. So, but opting for Secluded Beach. The 7th is the race I was alluding to before. So we had the heats of this last week. Shadow Ross, the horse always had a bit of time for. Actually, 2 starts ago in Launceston, I was on him for one of the biggest results I've had in a long time at double figures, and had his chance and ran second, but then was the World's Living Certainty last week, so I got some of it back at shorter odds, which is always the case. But looks like being probably cop a bit of heat here early. Imagine Real Diamond has a bit of a crack early for the front. And you've got Keep Playing, Super Honest. Just not sure he's got the speed to win it, but must for first 4 players. Witch Master, another one. Shadow Control, had 2 starts since changing stables, and been a lot of merit in both of them despite the 8-4 figure line. Like, galloped out at Carrick and finished about, I think he got beaten about 8 metres, and then was very good last week in the heat of this race. And gets a pretty good trailing draw here behind Shadow Ross, and obviously got Beam Me Up Chopper as well, so it's a stablemate of Shadow Ross. So we might, and Beach Boy Butch was well driven, but obviously it's a filthy draw over the mile. So actually we might go and have a look at the replay of Shadow Control, because he's going to be my recommended bet on the card. Actually, we'll just have a look at the sectionals from last week. Here's the Shadow Control race. So in this race, they went like a 33-second quarter from the 1200 to the 800, which over the mile always turns it into fence dominated, which resulted in the leaders back dominating. And if we look at the sectionals, like Shadow Control's run 57.7 last half. Don't think any other horse broke 58, so he was almost half a second quicker than any other horse in both of the heats. See the other one, they ran more even sectionals, so they ran home like 59 in this one. These ran home 57.7. He was 20 to 1 in the heat. We'll just go and have a look at that replay. Right, so this guy, here he is here. So, he says he started $20 and got beaten 15 metres, so we should be copying decent price. He was $20 in the heat.
About that.
So he's got the Rodney Ashwood colours, the white with the blue diamond. So outside the second row. And if you have a look here, he's all the way back. So you see like real diamond drew out wide here. You can see him have another crack for the front in the final tonight. So here he is here, like he settled what, 30 metres off the leader. And as I mentioned, they went sort of 33-second quarter, so they've now stepped it up here. You're always going to make the race fence dominated. The grey horse came out and won at Devonport on Friday night, Flashy Ruler. So if you just watch his last 100 metres of the race, it's actually very strong. So widest horse, goes out of camera shot. Here he comes here. I just think he's gone at least as well as first and second there. Good trailing draw. There's a chance that the heat's going to be on in the race. I do have Shadow Ross on top. But if Real Diamond, continues on for any length of time, it might set it up for a run on horse. So very happy to have something. If you're backing, probably recommend 1x3 bet. We should be copying double figures. So, if you get 350 a place, it's the same as even if he runs second or third. If you're backing 1x3, it's the same as backing a $2.50 winner. So he's the recommended bet there. The 8th, this is a lower points division of the C2 to C3 race. Ready to Fire looks exceptionally well graded. I think she was in, what was she in last time? A C5 to 6 race. Yeah, she's in a C5 to 6 race last time, and that was her 10th start as well. So she dropped a grade. Also with the mare's concession, she gets back into C2 to 3 grade. But as obviously she's drawing 6 out on the second row. She's got manner issues. But if she does everything right, she's just got too much natural speed for this lot. So possible to go past her, but all depends on price. But if you got, I'm not going to quote a price, but I'll give that race a miss anyway. And the last is pretty tough one to sort out for the 3CO to C1s. The Shallows, obviously very stiff to go under on debut. Bit more depth in this race, and a bit of gate speed inside. So Dougal resuming as well. Rowley probably went, probably would have been better serves sitting up a little bit last time. I reckon one might go around at silly odds here in the form of Badrick, who was terrible last time. He did pull very hard, so if you can forgive that. His previous form, like he sat outside Rowley and beat it home. Got a soft lead in Hobart and won the start before, but I just think with this last run was so you got beaten about 60 or 70 metres. If you can forgive that, and the old horses do mix their form from time to time, so forced to pick one, I'd probably go Badrick. So really struggled to find one as a best bet. He said, I just think the race form of Rock on a Hard Place is enough to win race 2. Ideal Bliss, you got the question marks over exactly where she's at. Ditto Resurgent Dream. Harjeet, the Overs God will really be a real thing. He's not just a myth if he gets beaten after they put up $1.95. But as I said, just $11 a place, Jacqueline. I said, he's no moral to run a place. I just think he'll definitely beat 3 or 4 of them home. If a couple of the other favourites have things go a bit pear-shaped, he's going to be strong late. So could have far worse bets than that. I think Secluded Beach wins, but I'm just not 100%, and he's going to be short. And plus, if got a couple of very dangerous horses here as well if things don't go to plan early. Happy to back Shadow Control. I think if you can even back both of them depending on prices go up. Shadow Ross a win and Shadow Control 1 by 3. Ready to Fire if she brings her A game. If you actually, this might sound silly, but if you're lucky enough to be one of those folks who can get on margin betting, might be worth having a few coins on her to win by space, because if she brings her A game, she'll win by a fair distance. But she can also, there's about 4 versions of her. There's not just 2. So, and the last, if the Shallows, I'm just not convinced he'll cross. Not the couple of the other horses join inside. So, just something small on Badrick each way in the last. So, but forced to recommend one bet on the card in race 7. We'll go Shadow Control on a 1 by 3 basis. Duggan on, trails out the favourite, should be settle in the first half a dozen. So, so anyway, guys, first one for a while. And I must admit, I probably haven't helped too much. I've ummed and ahed in about 7 of the 9 races, so you're getting splinters sitting on the fence. But anyway, we'll leave it at that. And just with a couple of feature races coming up, I might pop a few of these up for the bigger meetings. So anyway, until next time, we'll leave it at that and we'll catch you soon. Cheers.